After a very long, stressful makeup test with a lot of legends watching, very nerve-wracking test, he brought me in on his team. I was enthralled with Halloween, haunted houses, monster movies, magazines, books, painting models in my basement, and love of monsters. I've been at this about 15 years now. When I was very young, I started out with Bob Kurtzman's shop. It was Precinct 13 at the time in Crestline, Ohio. I would visit and he would have me give a helping hand on a few little projects here and there. It was the closest shop to where I live, so he was very welcoming and he had a great team that was very open to showing me how to run things. Later, I moved to a company called Life Formations, which was also in Ohio, where we made large projects for theme parks and for museums. And even though it's the same processes, I still wanted to work more in film and television. After moving to New Mexico, I moved to be with my family. At the time, they were filming The Lone Ranger, and every single person was working on that one movie, which left every other project for me, which was fantastic. And so over time, I ended up opening up my own shop in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and then eventually Albuquerque, and I ran that for 12 years. Now I'm out in California, and I'm kind of poking my head in here and there as many shops as I can. With those days, I was able to join Local 480, which is New Mexico's film union. And then after 12 years of being in that union, I came out here and was able to acquire my days to get into 706. So I didn't necessarily transfer, but I'm still actually 480 also. I'm dual union. But it was a long process to get to the end result of being in 706 in California. First big project, I was the Great and Powerful. I've worked on Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Night Shift, Army of the Dead, Salem's Lot remake. Oz the Great and Powerful was possibly my most important job I've ever done. Howard Berger hired me to be part of his team during K&B. After a very long, stressful makeup test with a lot of legends watching, very nerve-wracking test, he brought me in on his team. And I got to work with 20-some makeup legends that I idolized as a kid growing up. Howard Berger, Peter Montana, whole lot of artists, and got to make really cool makeups, but it was my first major job in the industry and my first time being part of a makeup bullpen. As the industry has progressed and evolved, it's gotten more into scanning and printing, and so I've tried to roll with that and progress with it. Very back and forth as it is with any new process. I remember hearing the same thing about silicone potentially replacing foam, and it never replaced. It's always just been an additional tool. So you still need to know, understand, and utilize the traditional methods. You know, even though there's a print, we're still making snap casts of it, or making silicone brush up molds, or printing a matrix mother mold jacket. But a digital artist may not necessarily understand that prosthetics need to lay a specific way, need to be cut a specific way, can physically be allowed to be a specific thickness. You know, it's very easy to make a giant digital monster and not understand that a human's going to be underneath it. In terms of ease for actors, being able to cast a small child, an elderly person, etc., it seems like every single shop now is switching to 3D scanning or photogrammetry and digital, which is fantastic because you can also have the eyes open, the mouth open, have it in any position you want, and be able to edit and change it without having to take a large chunk of the actor or performer's day. I've been in a couple trailers where we've had a few small printers. It has been incredibly beneficial to have a small printer where if we needed to make a change to something or to make a small wound, instead of trying to sculpt on a trailer countertop, which we've done many times, you can now do it on an iPad, send it to the printer in the trailer, and have a mold ready later that day for a custom piece to be used the next day, just keep in mind that that trailer is going to move, and make sure your expensive equipment is mounted properly. Word does spread throughout producers, and I have found that a lot of shops have been creating niches in the digital realm. You know, there's many shops like Fractured and Adrian Moreau's that are known now for their scanning and printing, and Vincent Van Dyke, VVD Effects, they solely 3D scan all their actors now. Productions take note of these things, and so they will reach out to specific shops because of their abilities in digital evolution of effects. I'm excited to see students go into the industry already understanding and utilizing ZBrush and the digital aspect, and how to make a corrective positive core, and how to potentially make multiple types of molds digitally, and expand their wealth of knowledge into an industry that's already trying to expand that wealth of knowledge in the digital realm. It's very easy to become set in our ways. For a very long time, I was very hell-bent on strictly using clay for everything. And now that I've been more exposed to these evolving methods, I wouldn't say it's replacing my passion one way or another, but for all those artists that want to learn these methods too, you know, don't be afraid to take classes, don't be afraid to go back and try to evolve your methods with new tools.